Hello, hello, good morning, Property Development Australia. I think we are live. Let me see how we're going. No, we're not going live yet. I've got to type in a comment. Special live. Hold on. Don't know if I can tag you. Are you part of the group already?
Oh no, I forgot to do it. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's all right. No, that's fine. Well,
I didn't want to be tagged though.
Yeah, that's okay. No, exactly.
Yeah,
So I've
cool.
just left that out from Core. And tell me, it's Corelogic RPData. Is that the right name, or from Corelogic?
RPData is the product from Corelogic.
Discussing,
Does that?
yeah,
Yeah.
the power of RPData in your development research. Feel free to ask questions. Okie dokie, ready to roll. Add a title. Oh, okay.
Should I be sharing my screen now? Or?
No, I think just wait a moment until I sort of give you the cue. I'm just filling in all these title and comment stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Call using RPData for researching. Is the focus mainly going to be on researching development sites, or what? I can't recall what you.
Yeah, I was just going to do an intro to, and definitely focusing on what data you can use to research areas and development sites and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a look at just the information available, some of the mapping tools, and then some of the sort of data and analytics we can do on areas as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Excellent. All right. Check that your stream's connected and all required information. Yes, yes, yes. I think we're going live. There we are. I do usually do a bit of a dance
Just waiting
before, just to listen up. Here we go. Good morning, Property Development Australia. This is Cheryl Leong, and I have a very special guest with me today, Alex Rossi from Corelogic. How are you doing today, Alex?
Hey there, good, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
No, thank you. We're a group of a large community of property developers, Alex. I think I've given you. Oh, I can actually see that my dancing was put up on the Facebook Live. So what I'm going to do, because I want to be able to see what people are commenting here. Give me one sec while I get the technology all set up. So anyone that's available at the moment, this is sort of a pop-up business of property session, and it will be recorded the moment yes, I have started recording, and we'll put it up on our usual property our time slot, which is Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, which is 8 o'clock Sydney time. So the reason that we reached out to Alex, as you know, the group, we have a good relationship with RPData, and we have some specials for the subscriptions to RPData Professional. And a lot of people have really asked, you know, how do we use RPData to its best potential to be able to find development sites, to, you know, suitable sites and things like that. So we've invited Alex to sort of go through a bit of the basics, I guess. And Alex is going to share his screen so we can go through some of the main features and functions of RPData if you're not already using it. And if you are, please feel free to ask questions and make comments on the bottom as well of this live. So Alex, I'm going to pass it over to you. I won't distract you, and I will turn my video off because I'm distracting it all. Stop video, and There we go, and it's all yours.
Cool, thank you so much. Hello everyone, my name's Alex, as Cheryl said. I am the trainer for Corelogic. So we have a number of products, including RPData. We also have Cordell, which is our projects platform. So looking at larger projects nationally in Australia, they'll definitely have your residential, things like that. We also have a look at commercial research and also our zoning information platform called Block Brief. Today I'm here to show you RPData. So just an intro course into RP. Some of the tools you might use it for in your development business. Before I do jump into that, I did just want to point out our help section up the top here. We do have a few tutorial videos, training videos, that sort of thing if you're interested. After today, if you need a refresh or you're interested in seeing some of the other ways other industries will use RPData, you can definitely jump into our training webinar. So come into training, and this is where we work here. Come to online training, book now, and you'll find our training catalog here. Just filter for RPData, and you'll see we run these sessions weekly, so you can always come in. A lot of them will be real estate based, but you will find intro and mobile app ones like that as well. So this is our homepage here. Before I jump in and show you all of that, I did just want to quickly bring up a property and show you what we collect, the data that we collect in RPData. So just in this address bar here, you'll notice I have address, street name, suburb, or postcode. I can do all of those here. What I'm going to do is just start typing out my address. And you'll see it will start to guess, if I have the right spelling, it'll start to guess what I'm trying to type. Once it's got the correct address there, click it from the drop down and hit search. And that will bring up our property detail page. So this is what we collect on an individual property. You'll notice we've got photos. These are taken from the listing portals. We actually don't delete photos from RPData, so you will often notice past furnishings, past renovations, things like that. So each time it's listed, we get the photos and we don't delete those. Moving down, we have the property attributes. So we can see that it's 4-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car spot house on a 561 meter squared block. It was built in 1985 as well. Below that, we have the last sale details here. So you can see it sold for $650,000 on the 16th of October, and it then settled in November. We can see the agency that sold it and some zoning information here. Unfortunately, a lot of RPData, you're not going to see your R1, R2, R3 zoning. I'm not sure if that's the same nationally, but you're not going to see that information here. You will, as you can see, just see residential for most places. Moving down again, we have the legal description here. We've got the lot and DP, value of general measurements, and the council as well. Moving down now, we do have ownership details in RPData. This is going to be different state by state, just because there are a lot of privacy restrictions around ownership details. Because this is from government data, there are legal restrictions around what you can and can't do with it. Also, state by state, you're going to see different information. So New South Wales, WA, you're going to get surnames. Queensland, you're going to get first and surnames. You're a bit lucky up there. All the other states and territories, you're not actually going to be able to see this ownership information. Below that,
sorry,
go for
Alex,
it.
just on that, does that mean that if the information's there and there's a phone number and an address, does it generally mean that it's okay to contact them?
If you have a phone number, and I'll get to that at the end, you can contact it.
Yes.
From this ownership detail, because this is actually from lands titles. It means it does have very strict privacy restrictions. You can't actually market to that information.
Okay. And then I had another question around, because we talked about the sales history there. Does it reflect off the plan sales as well?
No, unfortunately, we do struggle with off-the-plan sales. You may have
Yes.
noticed that if you've been in already. It is a gap that we struggle to find, just because we are, seeing those listings. That's where we get a lot of our information from. So sometimes we have them, but often we won't have that greater data around off the plan sales.
Yeah, I
I do
guess
apologize about that.
because they don't settle till, when they settle, I guess.
Well, yeah, and they're settling, but we don't have any photos, we don't have any
Yes.
information on the
Okay.
property and things like that, which we get from the listing portals.
Okay. Okay. Not a problem. All right. Proceed.
Cool. Property features and listing description. So these are taken from the listing portals again. You will see a little description there from the real estate agent. And then these property features are taken from the portal as well. So we know it has a garage, we know some materials, we know that the internal or M2 there is 120 meters square, the internal floor area, sorry. So these bits do come in handy a bit later. When I search for a suburb, I can actually filter for these tags here and bring up all of the properties, for instance, that have a lock-up garage in the suburb. So I'll show you that a bit later. Moving down to the bottom now, we have sales history, on the market history, and on the market for rent history. So every time it's changed hands that we have record for in RPData, and you'll see that back to 1985 here. Every time it's been for sale that we have record of, and then every time it's been on the market for rent, and you will find rental amounts here on those rental properties. Lastly, down the bottom here, we do have a phone record. So this is from our third-party marketing database. These people have technically agreed to be marketed to. So we do have a mobile number. It's in black, which means we could call it. If it was in red, it means it's on the do not call list. So you can't actually call that number. Another thing to keep in mind is the surname here does not match the surname that's on the title document. And because these, you can see that's Bamali, and down the bottom here, it's not Bamali. What that's telling you is it's probably not the owner, it's probably a past owner or maybe a tenant, because these third-party marketing database are collecting information of occupants, not necessarily owners. So that is the property detail page. That's all the information that we collect on a property. Cheryl, did you have any questions on the line there about any of that?
No, I'm pretty good with that. Any questions?
Mhm.
No, no questions so far.
Okay, great. Behind the property detail page, we do actually have a map as well. So I think of it as behind. We have the street view here. So you can take a walk up the street just like in Google. And we also have the map as well. And we have a number of mapping tools here. So just like Google Maps, we can zoom in and out. We can drag it around, click and drag. And we also have the option to set it as road map there. So you'll see that change.
Can
You
you
can see the
show
target.
some of the, sorry, Alex, are you able to show us some of the tools that are helpful for developers here?
Yeah, definitely. So once you got the hang of using the map, over on the right here, we have a number of tools. So I have measure distance. So I can click once and double click. And then I can also go around corners. So really great for working out your frontages just by clicking each time and then double click. And that will give you all of your separate sections there. Then hitting delete, you can also measure area. So really handy for you guys. If you found two blocks next to each other, we can find out what the area is of those two blocks there. So all I'm doing is just clicking once for each corner and then double click to finish, and you'll get the area inside that shape there. We also have some mapping layer tools. So if you need any property data, that sort of thing, you can see land area for each of the blocks. We can see sale price and dates. Owner names can be put over the top there. And you can see lot plan and DP there as well. Sales themes will color those properties that have been sold. Listing themes will color those properties that have been listed. So handy to see those changes, those stock levels in the area as well. So there are our mapping tools. You can go through and have a play. I think they're all the ones that are relevant to you guys. We do have easements there as well, so that might be handy. But I think in New South Wales, we don't really have many here. In the map, we can also, if we hit back to the hand tool here, we can also go to separate properties. So if I click on this one over here, I can actually see that single property. and I can view details to go to the property detail page. And you'll see we'll go to that property detail page, but we don't have any photos for it. Great, so that is the property detail page. As I said, that's sort of the information that we collect in RPData, and then what we do is we can look at an entire suburb and see all of that information with our analytics. Before I jump off this, I did just want to talk about the reports that we run. I do have a valuation report here. So our Corelogic automatic valuation, we can pull that out really easily just by clicking on that. Keeping in mind though, this is not a legal valuation. It's not the same as hiring a valuation company. It is our computer generated valuation. So it's not suitable for loan purposes or your tax or anything like that. But it is really good because it does give you an idea of what you should pay for this property. So if I open that up now, you'll see we have an estimated value of 640,000. Estimated confidence score is high, and our price range there of 602 to 679. So what that's telling us is we have a lot of data around this property to give us that valuation. So our confidence that it is going to sell for this amount or it would sell for this amount is high. If we're looking further afield for data, if we're not seeing so many sales or we haven't seen this property change hands in a number of years, that would push that confidence score into the low, and it would also blow out this estimated range here as well. Moving down, we've just got some property attributes, so you can see all that information on the property, and then we also include your market insights down the bottom here. Recently sold properties. So there's your comparable properties, and then your market insights as well. So you do have median prices of houses and units, those changes there as well, and those 12-month sale prices in this little report here for you. So as I was saying, use this as a tool, but you definitely cannot use this as a proper valuation. Another really handy report is our property report. Hopefully you've seen this one before. A lot of the banks use our property report. I can put in my client name. I can generate a report. I can choose whether or not to include the Corelogic valuation. Hit generate report. And that will go off and download for us. It might take me a little second here. And here it is here. So really easy to print off. You can also use the mobile app and print this off, email it out if you want to. And you can see a lot of information with not very much work, and it has your val in there as well. You'll notice that's the same valuation. We've got the property activity summary, so every time it's changed hands, for sale, rental, your comparable sales, your comparable listing, so what's actually on the market at the moment, comparable rentals, what can you get in rent for this property, local schools, really important information there, and then your insights here again. So median value over the last 5 or so years, your median days on market, how long does it take properties to sell in the area? Vendor discounting, how far are vendors or people selling their houses having to come down from their original asking price? So that's the vendor discount there. Really good indicator of market activity and market health. Your rental amounts, so what you can expect to ask for rent in the area, as well as your yield, so your yearly income on top of sale price as a percentage there, which is your return on investment in the suburb. And that's the property report. So heaps of information. They're really easy to download, print out, send out if you want to. Another couple of reports we have here that I won't jump into is the rental AVM and also the radius search. So I can actually bring in a number of properties from within a certain radius around this property and do my analytics. Keeping this in mind, because I'm going to bring up a suburb and I'm going to do all of the same things that I could do in a radius search, but in a suburb. So handy if you've got, a couple of suburbs that you want to include in your research. So what I'm going to do now is run back to the homepage and talk about some of the sort of market information that we can get out of RPData. So back on the homepage now, we do actually have a research team at Corelogic headed by Tim Lawless. You'll often see him on the news. You often see our research quoted in newspapers, that sort of thing. If you come down to the bottom here, you can actually find our research blog. Here it is here. And you actually have first-hand access to all of our research through your Corelogic subscription. So you can do anything with this. You can read it, you can publish it, you can send it out to your friends and family if you want to. In the research blog, you can read them all as you go, or you can even enter your email address and subscribe and we'll send it out to you as it comes out. Really great to stay up on this industry news. You'll see things like greensfields, you'll see median sale prices, you'll see auction results, that sort of thing come through this blog here. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump into the address bar again, and this time we're going to bring up a suburb, and I'm going to show you some of the ways we can filter a suburb and look at different information from there. So again, in the address bar, typing out your address or suburb, click from the drop down and hit search. That'll go off, and it's going to bring us every property in Ryde or the suburb that you choose. So not just your sales, not just your listings, actually every single property record in that suburb. So here they are here, and you can see we're in the property tab, this first one on the left, and we have 14,000 properties in Ryde. So as I said, every single property in Ryde. A little bit of information on the page quickly. So we've got those sale prices, owner information. We've got all those reports we can run straight away. So if we wanted a val straight away, we could do that from here. We can move down. They're sorted by address. We could sort them by lots of different things here. And we can go to the next page down the bottom. So we can just flick through as we want to. Up the top on the left now, we can also start to filter our results. So you'll notice property type is the first one here. If we only want to have a look at residential, we'll take out all of those commercial, businesses, land. We can do that here. So ticking those properties that we want, just hit refine now. And once it's loaded, we'll see just those properties now rather than every property. So you can see it's come down to 13,000. So now we're just looking at those residential ones. We have a few other filters here. I can do by street if I wanted to. I can do bedrooms and bathrooms. A really handy one for you guys is land size. So I can actually start putting in a minimum land size here and looking at those, minimal divisible blocks. Have they got houses on them? Take out your units because they will have your bigger apartment blocks with bigger land sizes. But if you just had houses on a big block, you might find some properties that are ready to be developed. Moving down, as I said before, we do have land use here, but we do not have your R1, R2, R3, unfortunately. We do have single res dwellings and strata units and that sort of thing. So that is from the title document. Sale price, sale date, settlement dates, if you want to include those. But we'll have a look at those in a second. And then lastly, in our advanced filters is where we find those tags I was talking about before. So air conditioning, polished floors, dining rooms, all of these tags taken from the listing portals and attached to these properties. Lockout garage, swimming pool. If we included any of those tags, it would filter out our results and give us only those properties with swimming pools or garages or anything like that. So that's the property tab. As I said, we can have a look at all of the properties. We can filter out those properties and have a look at those ones that are relevant to us. As we move across the top here from the property tab, we're going to see different information. So going to sales history, you'll notice all of my filters have stayed the same. So I'm still only looking at the property types of houses, units, and flats. And this time it has given me a 6-month date range for the sale date. So this is giving me the last 6 months of sales in my suburb. And you can see there are 346 properties that have sold in the last 6 months that match my filters. So really handy here. Now we can start to have a look at our sale prices. We can click into these, of course. You will notice some properties' sale prices are in purple. This one is also not disclosed. So what that means is we've seen a property for sale. We've seen an ad each week for it coming through. When we see that ad disappear, we assume that something's happened, something's sold. So we'll actually call the agent. Our research team will call the agent and ask, hey, how much did this property sell for? They'll either tell us, and we'll put the sale price in here in purple, or they won't tell us and we'll put it in here as not disclosed. When it finally settles, it goes to lands titles, we get the feed, we will always get a sale price for a property. So you don't need to worry, we might just be a bit late. Once we do get the feed, we'll turn it in black and you'll see that property price come through. You will also notice our $1 sales, they are often related party transactions. So family members, business partners, they exchange the property for $0 or $1. They don't have to pay as much tax on that property or that transaction. So you will see those. We can get rid of those if we want to. In our filters, we have exclude related party transactions and exclude agents advised sales. So we'll get rid of those. I want to show you another report from here. You can also do it from the home page if you want to. But what we can do is click on these properties. You'll see I've got a little tick box there. If I choose one or a couple, you'll notice I get the multi-property activity bar down the bottom here. So I have a few options here. I can save it to a list. I can add it to a list I've already created. If you want to start pooling properties together, doing your own analytics on separate properties outside of a suburb, you can do that. I can also create a sales history report, which I'm going to do in a sec, and I can export to Excel from here. I can also add them to my watch list and get alerts. So it's sort of like favoriting a property. Anytime it's listed for sale, for rent, or sold, I will get an alert on my homepage, and I'll show you where that is a bit later. So I want to run this sales history report. Really handy if you're doing a feasibility analysis in a suburb or an area. Is this sales history report. All I'm going to do is make sure I have a good number of sales in the last 6 months. If you have anything less than 100, I would take it out to a year. So just change your dates, your sale date here. Sorry, I'll just scroll down a bit. Change your sale date to January 2019. So you'll get a full 12 months of sales. I have a nice large number here of 298, so I'm going to include all of those. So hitting all includes all of my properties. Down the bottom now, just hit that sales history report function, and that will take us to our report builder. So what this is going to do is going to average out all those sales and give me a really nice median price at the bottom for each property type. I'll show you that in a sec. All I'm going to do, you'll see I can edit each one of these sections here, take out any information you don't want. If you are going to send this to clients or finance or something like that, you might want to do that. Otherwise, just ignore all of this. You'll notice I have the sold properties here. If you are going to print this out, definitely get rid of this section because it is 298 photos of properties that you don't want to waste your printer ink on. All you need to do is come to our sections over on the left here, and you'll notice I can move those around, just hide that. And what you're left with is our summary here. And you'll notice sales history by attributes. I've got houses and units, and they're also split up between bedrooms. And over in the second last column, I have my median value. So what we can do here is start to do our feasibility analysis. If we're building a house or a couple of units, we can start to work out what is our profit at the end of the day? What is our profit at the end of the project? Are we going to build 3 2-bedroom units or 2 2-bedders and 1 3-bedder? What is that going to look like at the end? You can
Sorry,
also have,
Alex.
yeah,
Sorry,
go for it.
I know I've just sort of popped up in the
Yeah,
middle.
please.
So this is really good. You talk about the quantity there. There's the numbers for quantity, and I actually have to say I haven't gone through this level of granularity
Hmm.
in the sales history report.
Hmm.
So that's the quantity there, and that gives a good idea of what's popular. I mean, I guess popular or in demand. I guess.
For those
In
sales, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So say for example, houses there, you've got the three bedders, which look quite popular. Um, and obviously, in the units, the two bedders. So if people are looking at the type of product that they're looking to produce, this is sort of a good indicator of what's selling.
Yeah, definitely what's
Yeah.
selling. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And those prices you can expect as well.
Yeah. No, that's great. Great, great, great. Thank you.
No worries. From here, if you did want to generate a PDF, you can print it off or email it out, or you can just, save this as a table if you want to. You can definitely just copy it out and put it somewhere else in Excel if you choose. Just do keep in mind you do need a big number of sales to make sure that median is an average rather than, you'll see this four better here. We've only got one. So you can see it's 15, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. So it's not really giving us a good indication of sale price of four-bed units because it is only one. That's the sales history report. Close it off. You can, of course, export this information to Excel, do all of that analytics yourself if you're savvy, but we do have that sales history report there for you. Our next tab is our On the Market tab. So this time we're looking at listings. If you're interested in buying, you do need to just filter the listing date. So before I jump into that, just keep in mind all of your property types are still there. We're still only looking at residential. If you wanted to include land, you could definitely do that here. Moving down, we can add our land size, listing price, but just do make sure your listing date here is current. So I'll move it to February 2020. So it has actually been advertised in the last week. So you can see I put that to the last week. So we have seen an ad for it in the last week. It's not now off the market. You'll notice we can exclude auctions as well. And we'll have a look at what's on the market in my suburb here. And you can see there are 54 now. So it has come down a fair bit. And you can see all those properties that are currently on the market. Again, we can run a report from here. Or you can add them to your watch list as well, watch them sell, but pretty handy to go through. This way, of course, they're going to be on realestate.com, they're going to be on domain. We think of ourselves as a bit of a safety net here. You're not going to miss anything if you're coming to Corelogic. Next is our Market Compare tab. Here, what you're going to see is days on market. So how long is it taking properties to sell? And we're also going to see that vendor discounting amount as well. So if you see days on market as under 35, pretty healthy market, pretty good time. It is pretty much, it's a general marketing campaign will generally be about 30, 35 days. If you see anything coming a bit longer, you'll notice this one's 120. You can say that the market's starting to slip. This one seems to be a bit of an outlier. Maybe it was the client that wasn't wanting to settle on a price. But if you see a number of these over 35, over 40, you can tell that, vendors are not wanting to sell their properties for the price that they're being offered. There's 151 there. A lot of these are auctions, so we're not going to see a vendor discounting amount because it's not advertised at first price. I'll see if I can find one here that did sell. Here we go here. So this property here, a 2-bed unit, was first advertised for 649,000. It was then later advertised for 570 to 600. So it's come down a fair bit just in the listing price, just what's been advertised. Next is our actual sale price. So eventually it did actually sell at 580. And then we can see those percentages of change there. So first to last ad was 12%, last to actual sale was 3%. And then we have here the total change, which is our vendor discounting, 9.48%. So a really important figure if you're trying to sell in a market. Also, if you're trying to buy in a market and this figure is quite large, it means you have room to negotiate with the seller. You can talk to them about, hey, I can see you've got your property on the market. All these other properties are staying on the market for 100, 150 days. They're not getting the price they want. Would you consider budging on that asking price? So definitely do be aware of this percent total change here, or the vendor discounting as we call it. Next is our contacts tab. As I said before, you can get contact information out of RPData. Real estate agents love this because they do need to, get the listing and that sort of thing. For you guys, I'm not sure how useful it would be, but just to show you, because you do have access to this information, I will talk about the restrictions around it. As I said before, owner information, that's that title document. It's government data. You cannot market to this. You cannot put A. Johnston on a letter. You can't call them. Any phone records you see are from our third-party marketing database. That means they are legally compliant marketing data that they have agreed to be marketed to. Any phone numbers you see in black, you can call. Anything in red, like this one at the top here, is on the do not call list. You can't call that number.
So me again, Alex. So
Yeah.
with that, I think that's really important because we've got a lot of developers who are doing letter drops and so on. So can you sort of just repeat that point and what they can or can't do, or was in that aspect?
Yeah. So basically, from here, any owner information you cannot put in a letter. So if you are doing letterbox drops, you cannot put A. Johnston on the letter, in the letter. You can't put a sale price. You can't put a settlement date of their property in that letter. You will be breaching privacy laws. If you're doing letterbox drops, it is best just to make it super generic. So to the homeowner, this is what I do. Please call me. Don't talk about them. Don't talk about their property, just because it is that you will be breaching laws.
So you can't even say that I noticed that it was for sale or whichever.
Listings is different because that is, on the internet.
It's public, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so you can say that.
Yeah.
But sale prices and sale dates are from lands titles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so just blanket across, don't use the owner's names and any specific details.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
And any of these phones you can call, but keep in mind they probably don't. I don't know. They probably won't want to hear from you because they're on these sites and they get called a lot.
Yes.
But you can definitely call them if that's what you want to do.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
No worries. Auction results here, pretty basic. Just those auctions in the last month or so. You can change the dates there as well, but it will tell you what's been bidded on, what's been passed in, give you an idea of what's going on in the market. We also have a section on our app for auction results, which is really, really good. You can actually go to each state, see those percentage of turnover rates or auction results there, and you can delve into each state, into each region, and into each suburb and see those individual properties that are selling. Really good information. Jump on the app. I wish I could show you it today, but definitely download it. Use your same login details to get on there. Rental information. If you're investing, you can do a rental comparison report. Just like the sales history report, it will give you that summary. It'll give you stock levels. It'll give you median rent split between houses and units and bedrooms. So again, if you're doing a feasibility analysis, but you're looking long-term, you can have a look at those rental amounts. All you need to do is click those properties like we did before, and then hit our rental comparison report at the bottom here. So guys, that's the market data. I think I've showed you everything there. I'm going to do one more thing after this, which is our territory builder, really handy for developers. So do ask any questions now if you've got any. I'll show you this last thing and then I'll answer any questions I've got in the chat there. So territory builder from the home page, it can be a bit tricky to find. There is a video tutorial on this, so just go up to help and tutorial videos, find the territory builder tutorial to show you how to get there, how to do it and everything. All you need to do is hit search at the top here. go to Save Territories. I'll just delete one because it does max out at 30 territories or 25 territories, sorry. Hit New Territory. And then what we're going to do is on the map here, we're going to map out an area, create a shape, and we're actually going to be able to bring in all of the properties within that shape. So I'm going to draw a shape on the screen, and then every property within that shape, I'm going to lasso them in, and we're going to be able to run the analytics. So the same way we did with the suburb, but this time just within our territory. So I'll come down to Campbelltown, just like Google Maps, just drag it around, double click to zoom, or use your plus and minus tools here. Let's do Lumia for today. Once you've found your area, come up the top here to draw a shape. And like the measure area tool, we're just going to click once for each corner. So clicking once, clicking once, clicking once. Once you're finished, you can link them up, or you can just double click, and there's your territory. From here, we can move it around. Any point you drop, any new point you drop will give you the option to drop another. So you can get really specific with this. So let's say this is our territory. Maybe we've gotten from the LEP, maybe we've found the zoning map and we've discovered this little area that's underdeveloped. We want to have a look at the listings in this area, maybe the land sizes, that sort of thing. All I need to do is give it a name, hit save, and now our territory is there. It does max out at 30,000 properties. So if you reach that, you might have to break it up and do it in two. You can even add those to a list later. So you're not restricted there, but you will have to just do a bit more work to get more than 30,000 properties in your territory. So now what we have here is those properties that I marked out on the map. But this time, they're all here for us to do our analytics. So I've got all the properties. I can have a look at the sales history. Just like we did with the suburb, I can look at the listings, look at the rentals, all of that. So I'll come to on the market. 5 properties on the market. If this was an area that I thought was underdeveloped, there's 5 properties that we could potentially buy. We could go and do our research there. So guys, that's the territory builder. From here, we can also set up alerts. Another one. Go to properties, click all, add to your watch list. Then you're going to be told, you're going to get an alert every time a new property in our territory comes on the market. So add those to my watch list. And the last thing I'll do here is just show you where those alerts come from. So on the home page, scrolling down, and here's where our listings will come through. My property monitor watch list. I've got 36,000 properties I'm watching, and they're my alerts. So 132 have listed for sale, 683 have listed for rent, and 277 have sold since
So,
I last went in.
okay, so that's how up to date is that information? Because say, for example, there are people, they're putting alerts on, re.com and domain. Is that pretty instantaneous?
Well, we get a feed from those listing portals.
Okay.
So we're always a tiny bit behind, a couple days, 1 day, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But like I said before, we're like a safety net. So you're not going to miss anything because we're getting it from everywhere.
Okay.
Whereas, you'll have to have all your different alerts set up all over the place with the other listing portals.
Yeah. Okay. So how many listing portals is this coming from? So you got re.com, domain, home sales.
Yeah, I'm not sure about realestate.com. We definitely have domain. We get it from all of the others, newspapers, Gumtree. We get it from lots of different little places, a couple
Okay.
secret places as well. Yeah, we have lots of agreements and things like that.
Secret places. Okay. So that's good to know because yeah, I've used as much as I've used RPData, I didn't realize it had that ability to draw that much information from listings. And you're saying Gumtree, Facebook as well?
Not exactly sure, but I'm sure we're trying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If
All right.
not, we're trying.
Yeah. Good to know.
Cool, guys. So that's the end of my session today. As I said, there is a lot more functionality here, maybe not specific to you, but it could be. Do jump in those training webinars if you're interested. Definitely jump into the intro one to refresh. If you're not subscribed now, you might be later. Jump into that intro and reset all of this information. But otherwise, thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you. I think there's definitely stuff that I picked up which I haven't used. I have to say I haven't used the territory
Mm-hmm.
function before, but that's good to know because I saw that it was an irregular shape. So like we're looking for specific suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
you can just pick out the streets that you
Yeah, absolutely.
want
And
to
then
focus on.
from there, you can put in a land size filter. You can export to Excel. You can do a letterbox drop from there. Really handy.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to open up to see if anyone's got any questions for
Mhm.
you. Krishna says, how up to date are the median prices on the suburb analysis report and sales history?
So we're getting those sale prices from lands titles. We won't include them in our sort of medians or our analytics until they've settled. So we'll get a sale price and then it will settle a couple months later, 1 or 2 months later. That's when we use it. So we're always going to be a month or two behind, but we tell you that and we know that we're correct.
Okay.
That makes sense. So we won't publish it until we have the actual data.
Okay. All right. All right. So I mean, we know it's fairly accurate, but whether it's obviously not instantaneous,
No.
but it's accurate in terms of the numbers are accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other questions there? And feel free to keep commenting. I'll keep in touch with Alex if we've got any comments. And this is going to be recorded. It is recorded, and I will post it up again on Tuesday. I'm just gonna unvideo myself. I'm going to post it up again on Tuesday night on the Business of Property at 8 p.m. Sydney time. So, feel free to watch it again. As you know, the group does have a special offer at $99 for RPData Professional, which is nationwide. I don't think there are any specific sort of restrictions on that, which means that really you can search all across Australia. There. Thank you. Oh, wait, no, we've got another question. Does it do development sites as well? If you've just joined us, maybe have a listen to the beginning of the video, and Alex does go through, does it do acreage sites? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you pick up all properties, whatever size
Yeah.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
acreage, 5,
We
10,
have a
100 acres.
filter there for land as well. So I just took those out for the analytics and the sale prices and things like that.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. There are filters where you can say I think 2 or 5, more than 2 or 5 acres.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you can. I've used RPData for that for amalgamating sites. So definitely, I know that's in there. Okay. Well, like I said, keep coming with the comments. I'll put them together if there are quite a few for Alex, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to assist us there. Thank you so much. That was really good. A lot of people are, if they aren't already using RP data, will probably see sort of the value in using the tool. And at $99 a month, it's excellent value. But also the ones that have been using it, like I have, can see the extra sort of, and I see your reports have the look and feel has sort of changed as well, and it looks like you've been updating that and making it more sort of user friendly there. So that's
Yep.
good. Fabulous. Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you,
Been
Cheryl.
great
Thank you,
having you as
everyone.
a guest. I know it's been hard to see who's talking, but there are people watching and there are people asking questions. So
Lovely.
great.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me, guys.
You have a great day. Ciao.
Bye.